like any good marriage, is based on the little things, like I love you, holding hands. They say never go to bed angry, but I find that sometimes unrealistic. I think it's better to never wake up mad, because every day is a new day. Every day is a story unwritten. And like any good story, it needs a beginning.
You make my heart beat. You make my knees weak. You're the best part of me. Oh baby, you make my heart beat. Can you feel it? Can you feel it inside? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? 'Cause I can't deny. I love if it's just right. It's like your hands, they were made for mine. Everything is too good to be true. I knew it when I first saw you. Sometimes I'm tongue-tied when I try to describe the love I never thought I'd find. Yeah, you've got me tongue-tied. Look at her, just keeps on getting better with her hand in mine. So we're walking by the shore. I've got something to say, but words can't describe the way that I feel when I look in her eyes. 'Cause she looks good in a sundress, with lips so soft that I can't resist. Every day I learn a little more about her. Summertime wouldn't be the same without her. She has brown eyes, tan skin, moonlight and laughter. She is everything I've ever been after. Summertime wouldn't be the same without her. I wish we could stay like this forever, miles away from everything we've known. There's nothing to fear when she's by my side. I'm living a dream day and night. 'Cause she looks good in a sundress, with lips so soft that I can't resist. Every day I learn a little more about her. Summertime wouldn't be the same without her. She is brown eyes, tan skin, moonlight and laughter. She is everything I've ever been after. Summertime wouldn't be the same.
Most people know we met during a dance class, but that's not the whole story. When I first started teaching dance, I taught children's hip-hop classes. My boss told me one day that I would start teaching an adult hip-hop class because a group of people showed interest. Well, every week I waited for the members to come, but no one ever showed up. I had figured that some of the mothers of the kids I taught would be coming in for some exercise classes. I had a fun, feminine routine ready to go. Finally, one night, Wes and his friends walked in. I was completely shocked. I was thinking, what am I possibly going to do with you? He came in with a sleeveless t-shirt that you could tell he cut off himself, freshly gelled hair, and cologne that you could smell from a mile away. I quickly improvised and asked the group to introduce themselves. That's when I found out Wes was an engineer at Kennedy Space Center. Now I always knew I would marry a man who would dance, but when I met Wes, I thought there was no one who could be nicer, smart, and a good dancer. Something was off. But after getting to know him, it was all true. Wes is nice to everyone he meets. His intelligence never ceases to amaze me, as I learn something new from him every day. And he's pretty good at dancing too. Wes made up a good idea to get to know me better. He asked for private dance classes to prepare for a wedding he was going to, so we had to spend one-on-one time together. That was the first time he made me his patented chicken marinated in Italian dressing. After a while, I wanted to become closer to him than just a friend. He brought me to his family reunion where I was politely introduced as a friend to his family members. One family member knew what was really going on. Now, if you don't know his Uncle Eddie, this sure will paint a picture for you. While Wes was playing horseshoes, his Uncle Eddie approached me and asked, "Say this like Uncle Eddie." Do you have any intention of marrying Wesley? I'm pretty sure I just laughed and walked away. Here's my true response from my journal entry on November 20th, 2010, shortly after Wes moved to Connecticut. I wouldn't admit this to you right now because I don't want to scare you away, but it would be an extreme honor to be with you for the rest of my life. Nothing would make me happier, just you.
All that was wrong, you made it right.
I first met Drew shortly after graduating from college. I had begun my career at the Cape, and now, with no more homework or tests to study for, I found that I had a lot of free time on my hands. After a conversation one day with a friend from work, Jennifer Alex, I thought it would be fun to take a dance class with her and her husband, Chris. I remember we were hoping to take some form of a ballroom dance class. After a quick search, all we had come up with was a jazz class for elderly couples. It was then that Jen recalled taking dance lessons at TVJC, a local dance studio in Titusville. She found that they were offering an adult hip-hop dance class at the end of the summer. I was reluctant to agree because it wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but Jen convinced me of how much fun it would be, so I agreed. I remember walking into the first class. There were no other adults there besides Chris, Jen, and a friend of Jen I'd never met, and myself. When we entered the room, I remember seeing Drew for the very first time. She was flipping through her CD case, listening to music, preparing for our class. I wish I could say the sight of us put a smile on her face, but quite the opposite happened. I wouldn't find out until later that she was expecting mothers who were attempting to pass time by taking a dance class while waiting on their children's classes to be over. She looked shocked and confused at the sight of us, but quickly pulled it together. I remember being an excellent student, paying attention to everything she taught. This is not true. Paying attention to everything she taught us in class. I especially paid no attention to the way her legs flexed when performing dance moves. That's inappropriate. That would be a distraction, and I needed to focus on the fundamentals. Over time, we began to talk at the end of each class. I found out a lot about her. The trait I adored the most was how giving of a person she was. Nothing put a smile on her face more frequently than knowing she had brightened someone else's day. Each conversation we had only left me wanting to talk with her more. We would spend an hour or two after class just talking by our cars because I wouldn't let her leave. My feelings for her grew as time went on until one day I realized I never wanted this to end. I eventually asked her out, and I have never made a better decision in my life, at least until the day I asked her to marry me, that is. We've gone through so much together since we first met. We have been able to overcome all obstacles because of how strong of a person she is. Drew Danielle Dixon, you are the love of my life.
Flashes of light, season the night.
When we went to St. Thomas and he proposed to me on the beach, when he proposed, it was nighttime and we couldn't see anything. I couldn't see my ring. We couldn't see anything around us. And I returned the next day and we peered into the water and we chose 4 rocks. Now, what we thought they would represent would be our future children, our unborn children. So what my hope is that over time, since we're opening a time capsule in 10 years, we will fill our life with love, fill our life with family, and when we do open the time capsule in 10 years, we'll be able to give our children some of these tokens and say, before you were even here, we thought about you. And to show our love continues to go stronger over time.
Season the night.
I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to have sort of something that was from our past when we first started, and something that was maybe looking toward your future. I remember when I made the decision to move to Connecticut, it wasn't easy. at the time, my mom was going through a lot of things, and we had only been dating for probably 3 months, 4 months at the time. And so when I finally made a decision to move, because I had such a wonderful opportunity in Connecticut, I was scared for any reason anybody else would be, but I was scared because I thought maybe I'd lose her in the process. The night before I took a flight to Connecticut to move there, she stayed up all night making this box, and she counted out every single day that she would be gone from me until she moved to Connecticut, and wrote one note that I would open every single day that I would read, and it was of why she loved me. And this wasn't that far into our relationship, but it showed me that she was ready to make a commitment to me, and she was there for the long haul, and I had something special. So in 10 years when we open this, I want to go through every single one of those notes with you again, and that's the first one. The second one is, I know how important to you having a business is, and having that be your future one day. And so I got your logo printed on something, and I want you to know where you were at this point and where you're going to be with your career, because I know that's what you really want.
Sky painted black, gas in the terms, fireflies burn.
If I had my way, I had my way, I wouldn't change a thing, wouldn't change a thing. 'Cause you're my obsession, you keep me in the dark.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Erica. I'm Drew's best friend. Wesley does not believe this to be true, but we really have known each other since birth. We grew up living across the street from each other and have stayed close enough to be sisters since then. Needless to say, we've had too many memories to recount, but one thing I can say about Drew is that she goes above and beyond for the people in her life, including planning over-the-top surprise birthday parties, maybe including Harry Potter, and providing those positive words of support always when needed. Drew and I have not lived in the same city since high school, but we have always remained close, and some of my favorite memories are from last summer that we spent together in Connecticut. I not only got to spend quality time with my best friend, but I got to know Wes on a closer level as well. I do have a special memory though that I'd like to share about when I realized Wes was the right guy for Drew. I was visiting Drew and Wes for the first time in Connecticut. Drew and I went to Boston for a day. We went to a cider mill and went apple picking. And one night Wes took us out for dinner and drinks in downtown Hartford. For those of you who know Drew, normally she would have a full itinerary planned with activities for the weekend with little room for spontaneity. However, to my surprise, Drew had only loosely planned out the weekend and allowed us to improvise if needed. I had never seen Drew so calm and happy, and I know that Wes was a big part of this positive change that I saw in my best friend. I realized that weekend that Wes will do anything to make Drew happy, and I trust that he will continue to do so as they move into this new chapter as husband and wife. It's been wonderful seeing you two grow together, and I know you have wonderful goals planned out for your future. I can't wait to see those goals play out, and I'm so blessed to be a part of them. One thing I know is that the future is bright for you two, and I wish you nothing but love and happiness. I love you both very much.
Your kiss, it twists me, blurring the lines. And this the very first night.
Wes has been much more than a big brother to me. He's been my #1 supporter over the years. The guy that I can call at 2 o'clock in the morning and I know he's gonna pick up the phone. And I love you, man.
And again, and again, I'm falling for you. Again, and again, I'm falling.
Drew, you have been more than a sister to me already for the last 5 years now. What a lot of people don't know about Drew, Wes and Drew had only been dating for about 3 or 4 months, and my mom was sick and there wasn't going to be a lot of people that were going to get to come to my basic training graduation, and I barely knew her. And she flew all the way to San Antonio to be there with Jessica, and she's been my sister ever since that day. So I wish you guys the best of luck and a long and happy life together, and I love you both. Cheers.
Tonight I'll be waiting for you, baby, come and see. We'll start a little game of hide and seek. If you wanna have some fun, find me. Make a wish, I'll give you anything for just one kiss. There's nothing out there that you don't eclipse. Could someone so perfect like you exist? Let your heart come out, run away with me. We could dance all night if you stay with me. Where the stars never fade and the sun won't rise. We can live while we're young, forever tonight. We can stop time, stop time. Maybe we can stop time, stop time. Maybe we can stop time, stop time. Maybe we can stop time, stop time. You and me can be anything we want to be. Let's be fearless, baby, let's be free. Take a leap and feel eternity, eternity. Let your heart come out, run away with me. We could dance all night if you stay with me. Where the stars never fade and the sun won't rise. We can live while we're young, forever tonight. We can stop time, stop time. Maybe we can stop time, stop time. Maybe we can stop time, stop time. Maybe we can stop time, stop time. There's something in your eyes that makes the clock stop. There's something in your smile that takes me to the top. There's something in this moment, there's no letting go. Just come a little closer, we can take it slow. We can take it slow. Come a little closer, we can take it slow.